Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. It's time for our final instalment of the hottest youth prospects. Richard, thank you so much for coming in again. It's lovely to see you.
Thank you.
I'm sure you already know who Richard is, but Richard, in case this is somebody's first viewing of you, let us know who you are.
Yeah, so I mean, we're on a website called Off the Post News, so we focus on the development of young players, through news, views and interviews as well. And I'm also at the Telegraph, so yeah, keep an eye on both.
Make sure you check that website out as well. If you have any interest in youth football, it's fantastic. Richard is now going to talk us through our top 5 attacking prospects for next season. Let's go. Number 5 on this list is Ike Ugbo. Big fan of his?
Yeah, he's a really good player. I mean, this is, last season was his first year as a scholar and, scored 20 odd goals. And, people may not really see him because he wasn't a starter for the Youth Cup team. But this is someone who's ready to come off the bench and make an impact as well. Just because of 20 odd goals in the first season as a scholar is
huge.
It's phenomenal and, it's just real potential.
What sort of a centre forward is he?
Maybe like a kind of Clivert-y type player in terms of he loves being on the shoulder, but he can do everything. Can hold the ball up, but he loves a tap in, loves a poach goal. But can do things by himself as well, which is similar to Clivert. So.
They're so valuable. I think it was Arsene Wenger who years ago described it as a fox in the box.
Yeah,
such a valuable player.
Yeah, definitely.
In fact, it's a striker that seems to have gone out of fashion a bit.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes to be kind of like a number 10 or go out wide or whatever. But you always see him in and around the box, occupying the centre backs and causing a problem for them.
Chances of making it into the first team slightly early, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a bit early for him. I think he knows that as well. I think he'll want to establish himself in the youth team and the under-21s next year, and then maybe the season after he can make an impact.
Yeah, wonderful, bright future for the boy. Number 4 is Izzy Brown. Now Izzy Brown burst onto the scene a little while ago, didn't he? And it's sort of gone a bit cold for him. I remember when we won the league. We'd already won the league last year. We played away at West Brom, and Izzy Brown played for the first team. Since he's been away, he's been at Vitesse. Been doing well. Can you see him coming back and getting into the first team?
I think, sometimes when you go on loan, especially to another country, you're almost a bit, out of sight, out of mind type. But, this is someone you've seen the potential, he's powerful, strong, and like I said, he can score goals from out wide, which is, is always a valuable asset to have.
Can you see him making it into the first team next season?
I mean, it will be a tall order. Again, it will depend on how Conte will want to play. Like you mentioned before, he loves playing in a kind of 3-5-2 and having a wing backs, which someone as a forward kind of winger might be a bit difficult for him. Yeah. But listen, if he impresses during pre-season, you just never know. You really never know.
And were Vitesse happy with his contribution last year?
Yeah, I mean, it was mixed. I mean, he did okay at times, but again, it's a step up into professional men's football, which isn't always easy. Right. But I mean, he definitely, he did well. And again, it's a learning curve for him, which will only make him better.
Number 3 is a man who has just burst onto the scene in the first team. That's Tammy Abraham. Richard, is he going to maintain his place in the first team next year?
I'd love to see that. I mean, it's a guy who just scores goals for fun. Scored 40 goals the season before last. Last season scored 20 odd, maybe even 30. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. But again, he's a talent guy. He loves scoring goals, which... As a striker, that's what you want. He's hungry, and that's the most important thing.
It's the variety of goal with him that I'm always so impressed with. Like, he's good in the air, he's good outside the box, he's good inside the box. He seems to be flawless when it comes to the variety of goals.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is someone who works very hard in this game. After training, he's always there practicing his finishing, stuff like that. So, like you said, whether it's with his head or it's inside the 6-yard box or from the edge of the box,
in the back of the net,
who's potent. Yeah, definitely.
To put you on the spot, sorry to do that as my dear friend, but can you see him making it into the first team next season?
Yeah, why not? I mean, you saw when he came off the bench the last couple of games, he did well. It's not as if the game passed him by, made an impact, held the ball up well, and like you said, he's only going to get bigger and stronger over the summer and in the next couple of years. And when he does, it'll be frightening because he's got the pace and strength now, and he's not even the biggest lad. So when he does get that size to him, it'll be tough for defenders to deal with. Yeah.
See, I think that could be the one stumbling block for him. I think that ultimately he's going to be a fantastic player and a fantastic player at Chelsea. I just feel that the kind of striker that he is, it's one who plays with his body and relies on his power and strength. He might need to fill out slightly.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I mean, look, he's a young lad, and he's got time in his hands to do that.
Yeah.
And so when he does do that, like I said, it'll be difficult for defenders to handle.
Exciting times. Right, number 2, and now this is a player who excites an awful lot of you. I would say that we get more questions and comments about this lad than we do any other players in the youth team.
Wow.
People are really, really excited about him. I'm, of course, talking about Charlie Musonda. How do you feel about Charlie Musonda?
He's a brilliant player, brilliant prospect you got on your hands at the club. I mean, in terms of his dribbling, his pace, end product, which for a young player, end product's really important. You have a lot of guys who are very skillful, but always, or may not have the end product, but he's going to deliver.
Right.
9 times out of 10.
So he's been in Spain for a year. That's been going very well, I hear.
Really well. I mean, the fans are really taken to him. Starting games and making an impact as well. I mean, like I said, his dribbling, and he gives defenders a hard time out there, and they love his technique and his ability, which is fantastic.
So do you think he can get into Conte's first team plans next season?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, look, if he's playing well in the Liga, which is a great league,
yeah,
he can definitely do it in the Premier League as well, 100%.
And is there a player that he reminds you of? Is there a player whose career you think his may emulate?
Well, I mean, if you're looking at playing style and the whole kind of physique, you could look at Neymar. Someone it's a massive compliment. But I mean, you got someone who, maybe slight physique, but quick, very skillful, loves to entertain, loves to through the crowd with skill. That's Musonda in a nutshell.
Sounds like a dream come true. Get him at the bridge. Right, number 1 on our list of attacking hottest prospects from our youth team is, of course, Dom Solanke. Dom Solanke, there was a time when he was pinging goals for our youth team. He's been at Vitesse, he's scored some. Can you see him being in our first team next year?
Oh, definitely. I think the year alone, he would have learnt a lot out there in terms of kind of growing into a man. Like I said, the goals he scored speak for itself.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from him, and he can definitely add value to the first team next season.
Brilliant. There were some reports recently that Dom Solanke was asking for 50 grand a week. My personal, and this is only a personal thing, my personal view is give him the money. I think give him the money and get him playing, get him scoring goals. If he ends up being a 30 goal a year man, it would be an absolute bargain, and I think he probably could be that. Do you think he's worth 50 grand a week?
I think if you give him the money, it sets a dangerous precedent, to be fair.
Oh, we've set that precedent long ago, though. With our dear friend, that was set long ago. Do you think he's worth it, though?
I think if for a long term, if you're looking at long term, then yeah, definitely. I mean, 50 grand a week is a lot of money for someone who's played a handful of first team games. So you're looking at a kind of long term kind of thing. I think it's a lot of money to be given someone that age. But you can use that as a kind of carrot and a stick type thing. Maybe if the contract's filled with bonuses, which you can try and attain, then perhaps that could be a benefit. But I think it is steep if it is going to be a straight whack.
But also, though, Chelsea have invested an awful lot into this guy. He's been at the club from such a young age. It would be harrowing and heartbreaking to let him leave now and watch him scoring goals at the Emirates, wouldn't it?
Oh no, definitely that would be the worst thing, because knowing that you've kind of brought him up.
Yeah.
Really. So yeah, I think you'd want to keep him, but 50 kind of week is a steep.
It is hefty.
Yeah.
But I personally speaking, I think pay him the money. What sort of playing style does he have? Who does he remind you of?
Again, another big compliment, but you look at people like Lewandowski, for example, Bayern, just in terms of, first of all, his size, he can hold up the ball, but, he loves scoring goals, and Lewandowski has got what it takes to put the ball in the back of the net,
Yeah,
and
not kidding.
Solanke does that on a regular basis, so, but it's just all one game, hold up play, again.
Back to goal.
Yeah, exactly, he's going to have to do a lot as a lone striker.
Yeah.
But also he's got the pace to get behind and put the ball in the back of the net, which is the most important thing.
Wonderful. Richard, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute joy to have you.
Cheers.
Just remind everybody once again, if they want to hear more from you, the name of your website?
Yes, check it out. It's called Off the Post News, www.offthepostnews.co.uk. Check out my stuff in the Telegraph as well if you can. And yeah, good to see you all.
Wonderful. And guys, like I said, this is a series that we're going to be developing. Let us know if you like it. So just give this video a thumbs up, and the other ones, we've done 3. This is a third of all of them. Give them a thumbs up just so that I can correlate it and decide if it is something that is here to remain. Go on,
Thank you.
Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. There is some very interesting news being reported in the British press. I've just got back from Portugal. Forgive that video yesterday. I was in a bad way celebrating a dear friend's stag.